Okay, let's talk about 2025. It was a year when the geopolitical ground literally shifted under Europe's feet. The entire continent was forced to rearm, and at a pace we just haven't seen in decades. And right at the heart of this huge transformation, one company became the engine for this new era of European defense, Rheinmetall. So what happened? What was the trigger? Well, 2025 was the year that European security policy just fundamentally changed. All the old assumptions of peacetime, they were gone. They were replaced by this incredibly urgent need to build up serious defense capabilities and to do it fast. And this really illustrates the new reality Europe was facing. A massive security gap had opened up, and it forced the continent to, well, take its fate into its own hands. This wasn't just some debate happening in government buildings. This was a continent-wide call to action. The official report puts it in pretty stark terms. It says, Europe must invest heavily without delay. See, this wasn't really a choice. It was a flat-out necessity. The mission became crystal clear. Invest, expand, and get ready. And that single directive really set the stage for one of the biggest industrial shifts in a very, very long time. And in response to this seismic shift, Rheinmetall made a truly radical move. They decided to transform themselves from a company with a foot in two worlds into a pure-play defense and security powerhouse. To really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number, 63.8 billion euros. That's what Rheinmetall's order backlog looked like by the end of 2025. And this isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. This represents years and years of guaranteed, locked-in production for armies all across Europe and the world. But the key thing here isn't just the final number, it's the trajectory. The growth was just exponential. Look at that jump, from around 26 billion in 2022 to almost 64 billion just 3 years later. This chart really shows you the sheer velocity of this new demand. It's like a rocket ship. This whole pivot was a fundamental shift in their identity. For years, Rheinmetall was a huge player in the automotive world. But in December 2025, they made a historic call: sell off all the civilian business and focus 100% of their energy, their capital, their expertise on defense. A complete transformation. So having a massive order book is one thing, right? But how do you actually deliver on it? This is where Rheinmetall began the absolutely monumental task of forging Europe's new arsenal. And the financials tell the story loud and clear. Their weapon and ammunition division, it became the undisputed profit engine, pulling in over €1 billion. That's nearly double the next division down. This is where the demand was most intense, and they cashed in. And their response was a massive expansion of capacity. We're talking brand new factories in Germany, more plants planned all across Eastern Europe, from Lithuania down to Romania. They were even converting old civilian auto parts factories to start making defense gear. It was a genuine all-out industrial mobilization. So if you boil it all down, their strategy is actually incredibly simple, but so powerful. Step 1, lock in these gigantic long-term government contracts. Step 2, build the factories you need to get the job done and do it at scale. And Step 3, turn that mountain of orders into actual revenue. Simple as that. But hey, the story isn't just about steel and explosives. Rheinmetall is also making a huge bet on the future. They're building a real technological advantage for the digital battlefield. This is how you create a long-term moat around your business. So what do we even mean by digitalization here? Well, think of it like creating a central nervous system for the entire battlefield. Every single asset, from a soldier on the ground to a tank to a drone flying overhead, they're all connected, all sharing information in real time to create one single intelligent picture of what's going on. And the core of this whole digital strategy is a product called the Battle Suite. Now, the easiest way to think about it is like an app store, but for the military. It's the underlying software that allows all these different systems, tanks, drones, sensors, even if they're from different companies, to just plug in and talk to each other seamlessly. And this digital foundation is what enables the next giant leap: autonomous systems. We're talking about unmanned robotic wingmen for fighter jets, precision drones that can just wait for the perfect moment to strike, and tech that allows for remote-controlled or even fully autonomous ground vehicles. This is the future they're actually building.
So let's just pull back for a second and look at why 2025 was the year. The year that really defined this new path for both Rheinmetall and, frankly, for European defense as a whole.
The timeline from that year shows you just how fast all this happened. It kicked off with the political will from the EU in March. Then came the industrial action in August with that massive new factory opening. The money got unlocked in September, and it all came together with that final game-changing decision in December. Go all in on defense. And that really leaves us with a pretty big question. Is this all just about making more shells and more tanks? Or is Rheinmetall's pivot to becoming this high-tech, digital, autonomous systems company actually laying the technological groundwork for a Europe that can truly and finally defend itself? The data for this breakdown came from Rheinmetall's 2025 annual report. If you want more deep dives just like this, you can always check out HDIN Research. Thanks for watching.